Chapter 5, NBC, The Catalyst, Part 8. So Dr. Clamar asks Stephen what is happening, and he says that he's almost home, that light is almost out. It's in the morning, early in the morning, and it's pretty early in the morning, and Dr. Clamar asks him to look at his watch, and he says that he doesn't have a watch, but there's one on top of his mother's refrigerator, and it's 5:07 in the morning, and the abduction began around 3 a.m., so 4 hours went by. The trip was supposed to take less than an hour, so he should have been home around 4 in the morning. And Stephen doesn't know what happened to the time. And Dr. Clamar asked him to just start telling the story from the beginning. So Stephen gets on Route 40 to leave his girlfriend's house to go to his parents' house, and he sees the UFO approach and pass over, and his car is suddenly pulled off the road. He gets out of the car and stands near the door, and then he says that he watched two dark things crouch near the fence. And he says, they're coming. And then he says, he's standing there and he's looking at me. His hands are still and he cannot move. He can't even take a little step. And there's more of the things coming. And the next thing he knows, there's 5 of them. And he begins to describe them, and their arms are really skinny. The head is really big, and the eyes are completely black, and they shine from the reflection. They also have a tiny nose. So Stephen is standing on his feet, and he's very relaxed, but he cannot move at all. He describes it as he doesn't have the will to move, and even if he could, he'll be too afraid to do so. Shortly after that, they decide to end the hypnotic session. So Dr. Clamar brings him out of the trance, and the filming by the NBC crew ends. Budd wanted to know what the NBC technicians were thinking, and Harry Lynn knew that he had enough footage from the hypnotic regression, and it was good dramatic footage. They completed the documentary, and 12 days later, it was shown. And most of the things that they show about the documentary was episodes from Stephen's hypnotic regression. And what stood out in the documentary that was shown on TV was the unsteadiness of Stephen's voice, and his breathing, his intense breathing, and the tension in his hands, and all of it was very obvious on the screen. Harry Lynn filmed another interview with Stephen the day after the hypnosis, and this time he was fully conscious an alert, and he expanded on his recollections. Steven says that he felt physically larger than the aliens, and he felt like he weighed like 3 times as much as these beings. But he says that he felt far inferior, that the aliens made him feel that way. He got the feeling that if the aliens wanted to communicate with them, they could have easily done so, but they were not interested. He describes them as very analytical, and that is why he was afraid of them. He felt that if they wanted to take a look inside his body, and they would have to cut him open to do so, and even if that would have hurt him a lot, they would have done it anyway. Not to hurt him, just to take a look at the inside of his body, because that is what they wanted to do. They were just out to do their job, and that was it, and they didn't care about anything else. And Stephen said that what frightens him is that he didn't remember anything before the hypnosis, and now that he remembers, he's saying that this could happen to many other people, and the things that they just don't remember. Like, there is no way to know how many people were abducted by the aliens, because they erased their mind. So there could be like thousands of people that have been abducted and they wouldn't even know, because they erased their mind. And Stephen ended the NBC program by saying, "If anything happened to me, it could happen to you. Let me put it that way."